about them. We'll talk to each other. Questions will be answered, and answers will be questioned. Probably, if I had to guess. We're going to be starting up with a little bit of Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and of course in our middle section. When I say of course, as if it's like guaranteed, but in our middle section we're going to be playing GeoGuessr, and then in our final section we're going to be playing a little bit of Drawful, which should be interesting. And we should be able to get some audience participation in there for that part, which is terrifying, but it should be interesting nonetheless. By the way, the NLSS is not an hour early. North America had daylight savings time, and daylight savings time ended apparently earlier than it does in Europe, which means that we did it first, so suck on that, Europeans. We did something first. We colonized the time change, if you want to put it that way. In any case, people are saying play as Isaac. Do people really want to say play as Isaac? Or do they want me to play as Eden? Or do they want me to play as somebody else altogether? Nick will be back. Don't worry about it. He'll be back on Monday. I'm not playing the Lost. No, daylight savings time did not begin, you sillies. It's daylight savings. When you have less daylight, you need to save it. That's the winter time. We're in the springtime now. We don't need to save our daylight as much. Spoony Bob, thank you very much for the subscription. Look, it seems like most people are saying Eden. A lot of people saying Judas, which is surprising. One person saying Azazel. I said Azazel. I'm sorry, but we're going to try an Eden run here. All right. Guppy's Paw, Curse of the Blind, and one of the special, like, Holy Spirit items. I think that is probably the soul, based on this blue aura, and the fact that, we have 3 spirit hearts. This is a weird-ass start for an Isaac Eden run, I gotta be honest there. But it's pretty good. It is the soul, yeah. It's pretty good, I think. Guppy's Paw gives us one of the Guppy items, and then, of course, we could always, like, turn our red hearts into spirit hearts if we wanted to, and then maybe trade them away for deals with the devil, but I don't really want to do that unless I have to in order to keep ourselves alive here. You think this is a one run already? I think that's a little bit presumptuous. How do people feel about the soul? I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, the soul's so overpowered, you can't get hit, but, you know, bullets are probably the least of your worries most of the time anyway, you know? I always get hit by those enemies like Gertie Jr. and Gurglings that run into you, or enemies that have, like, beam weapons, you know? Brimstone-firing gluttonies and shit like that. There are enemies of different types that do hit me. I wouldn't doubt that, I'm just saying. Ermagerd, so much lag. What are you talking about? No transcoding options? That would be a surprise. BizSnap likes it. I really like the soul. That's not me saying, that's someone in chat. It's okay, but it's not overpowered. Why are you streaming when Catavice 2015 is on? Well, that's because I don't think that my niche overlaps all that much with professional Counter-Strike watching, although I'm sure there's a lot of people that are interested in both, and that's cool. I watched Cologne or whatever it was, like, back in, like, September or October or something like that. I had a really good time with it. But ESL, man! ESL, you know what time my show is on. Why are you putting your show on at the same time? It hurts me. I thought we had a thing going. Oh, this is Curse of the Blind, so we're basically done with this floor. I thought it was Curse of the Labyrinth for a minute there. Who cares if BitchSnap likes it? That is just rude. BizSnap is a super nice dude. I think because of the... Here's the thing, right? No matter how you play Isaac, or no matter how you play anything, people will make inferences about your personality based on your the performance and the way that you choose to play the game. I think BizSnap has a reputation for being a little bit, you know, cold and analytical, but he's actually extremely kind. He might even be a nicer person than I am. Now, I'm not going to say the inverse, that just because I make stupid mistakes in Isaac, I'm smarter than he is, because he could be a goddamn genius. Have you seen some of the plays that he makes and the way he discusses said plays? I'm just saying, man, BizSnap, on a reputation level, he gets kind of a bad rap sometimes. I know he's got a dedicated fan base of his own, but if you're thinking, oh, I like BizSnap because he's a genius, but he's not really a polite and kind individual, he is, man. He's a nice guy. Cat of Nine Tails, actually pretty decent now. NL, do you know what about Catacomb Kids grabbed you where Vagante didn't? I wouldn't say Vagante hasn't grabbed me yet. I just haven't played it since it came out, or not even came out, but since it had like its Kickstarter campaign. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. You guys, I played Enter the Gungeon at PAX East this year. that game is gonna take over your mind share. I'm telling you. It's the first, like, roguelike-ish game. Well, that's not totally true. It's obviously not the first roguelike-ish game. However, it's one of the first and only roguelike-ish games I've played since Rebirth, where I've been like, oh shit, this is actually, like, I'm not gonna say better or worse, but it's comparable, at least in terms of its design and focus to Rebirth, but it's got a sweet little, like, gimmicky hook itself coming up. I'm gonna be talking about this a lot coming up, as it approaches release, I think, but what I played of that demo was, like, really exciting. Straight up, I think it was one of the best, one of the best demos, at least, I've ever had at any PAX. So I'm pretty excited. Enter the Gungeon is Isaac plus Nuclear Throne, and I'm so excited for it. You know, that's a reductive comparison, but it's not a false comparison either. When you play it, it really does feel like, you know, this is Nuclear Throne controls and, like, gun styles in the Binding of Isaac's shell. It's really, really good. NL, have you seen that there is an automatic bulldozing mod in City Skylines? That is a very smart thing that I should definitely install, because I'm tired of bulldozing all my abandoned buildings. Not that I have that many, but still. Alright, be real with me, chat. Laugh-A-Palooza Tomakathlon. I probably mispronounced that based on the fact that it makes no sense, but I am cognizant of the fact that I'm on the internet, so that might just be par for the course. Said, when are you going to do a Let's Play of Reign of Kings? Literally, I didn't know anything about it until today. I've heard that there are like 6 different people on YouTube and Twitch have been uploading videos and doing streams of this game called Reign of Kings, which, as I understand it, is like Rust, you know, the one from the Gary's Mod creator, the survival sim, well, not really sim, I guess, but combined with like Chivalry or something like that. Give me the insight as to what this game actually is. Are you really gonna make me take Sister Maggie with my first deal with the devil? I'm a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, but we'll roll with it. I'm just waiting on... It's a broken, buggy piece of hilarious crap. Alright. What is this anniversary thing at the top of my chat? Well, if you click that button, it'll say Grispin has been subscribed for X number of months, and then, well, I'll probably neglect to mention it because I find it difficult to read them as they come by in chat here. Ooh, Black Lotus. And then we can all celebrate. At least the mods will point it out. Sister Maggie hype. There is, don't lie to me, okay? There is no such thing as Sister Maggie hype. There is Sister Maggie tolerance, but there is no Sister Maggie hype. You seem like the kind of person who watches Game of Thrones. That comes across... I have seen the first season, but the way that's phrased comes across as like an insult somehow. Like, you seem like the kind of person who watches Game of Thrones. Shut up, Mom! It's a well-written show! It's got great character development, and George R.R. Martin doesn't care about, you know, pussy things like your feelings. Anyway. So apparently that's just it. Reign of Kings is just buggy and broken, and that's why people are playing it? That's alright. I can understand that. I gotta play a lot of stuff, man. Apparently, Ori and the Blind Forest, that game like wasn't even on my radar. Yeah, just walk right into that, even though you have the soul and saw the shot coming. Apparently, Ori and the Blind Forest is like amazing. Ooh, that's our second guppy item, and we can actually make pretty good use of that with Guppy's Paw. We'll talk about that though as we get a little further along here. Not to go all red and link on you guys, but I saw someone in chat. They said, "How do you rate your Isaac skills on a scale from 1 to 10. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rate myself around an 8, I think, and that's not being self-deprecating or self-inflating, I think. I'm not a 10. A 10 would be like very, very rarely makes mistakes, win, you know, 10 is like Cobalt Street, consistently pulling off like 60, 70 win streaks. I don't think I'm gonna pick this up yet, just in case I get a chance to like lose my Spirit Hearts. Like, I know I could get to the HP cap with it, but then I would lose being at the HP cap. It's complicated to explain mathematically. Anyway, back to the Isaac rating, and thank you very much to Zach Cable for the subscription, making me a little less lonely on my lonely stream today. I grew up as an only child, though, so it's actually alright for me to be alone. But hey, thanks for the subscriptions nonetheless. You too, Drop Mac 1. I was really hoping that would be a Demon Judgment. I could forget it, but I really hope I don't get it. Forget it. I think, like, a 9 is probably, like, rarely making mistakes, occasionally minor ones. And I'm in the 8, which is, like, rarely making major mistakes. Fairly, you know, somewhat frequently making minor mistakes, but still winning, like, 85–90% of runs, even in difficult situations. And, of course, you know, maybe I would bump myself up to, like, an 8.5 just for those lost runs. You can never take those away from me, but, I think 8 is a pretty realistic expectation, or, you know, approximation of where my skills exist on the spectrum. I'm certainly not the best Binding of Isaac player out there, but, I think I'm certainly... Well, I mean, it's hard to say, you know, it depends if you rate it on a curve of people that play the game consistently, or if you're on the curve of people who have played the game at one point. Because only like 1.2 or 2% of people have real Platinum God. So by that definition... Like, I would firmly be in the 10 out of 10 category. But by the definition of when you have, like, super high-level players breaking the curve, I'm probably about an 8. I think if we're being realistic. If you ask the commenters, they'd probably say I'm a 4. But if you ask the commenters, they'd probably say that they're a 10. So, you know, they can't always be trusted. Some of the time. A lot of the time. Some of the time. NL is a 10 out of 10 on the fundamentals. 6 or 7 on the decision-making process. Oh, that's there's something to be said for that, I think. Yeah, like shooting, like aiming and dodging, normally pretty good. Actual like game knowledge is probably like a 6. Decision-making, you could put it at maybe like a 6 or a 7, I guess, if I'm rating myself realistically. Look, I'm not the guy. If you started like a sports game and you did a fantasy draft, I'm probably not the guy you take number 1. But, I think I'd be in there somewhere. I think I'd be like a late first-round pick or an early second, depending on how many teams are in the league. I think NL's mistakes are blown way out of proportion. Nah, dog. You see, the video that just went up has, like, a slightly higher dislike-to-like ratio than normal, because even though I spawned literally, like, 128 golden chests on the chest with blank card Yara rune, I forgot to fight Mega Satan. Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Masander, thank you very much. That's well within proportion. Masander, thank you very much for the subscription. Up, down, to the side. Welcome to the Lion Pride. Fantastic. Flush. NL, any tips on playing Lazarus or Blue Baby? I'm having trouble getting those guys through to the dark room. The number one tip in Isaac, I think, is always just... like, practice. Like, I see it on the subreddit. There's a lot of threads that are like, I just got this game, what should I do? Well, obviously, if you're playing as those characters, you've unlocked them. Getting to the dark room, you know that, you know, your mechanical skill is a big indicator of how far you're going to go in the game. So it's always nice to practice more, get, you know, more practice dodging and, you know, seeing what synergies work, what synergies don't. But specifically for Lazarus, I really like, well, it's the big show. Sorry. Well, it's the big show. Thank you very much for that subscription. I appreciate it. But, Lazarus specifically, I think it's all about the early game with both of those characters. As Lazarus, kill yourself on the first floor if you get a Spirit Heart or an HP upgrade, and then pick up the HP upgrade or the Spirit Heart on your second life so that you don't have to deal with this bullshit damage and luck for the rest of the game. And that adds up, man. It's like the difference between having, like, compound interest of, like, 2% and compound interest of, like, 10%, or let's just say 3%. It makes a big difference later on. Let's take this. Lockdown. I know that 9 lives is still there, by the way. As Blue Baby, you have to do everything in your power to have 3.5 or more Spirit Hearts by the time you beat the second floor boss. You need to be able to get that deal with the devil and snowball out of control because you might never get the ability to actually generate your own Spirit Hearts. So I think it's pretty important to make sure that that happens. I forgot that I had not visited the shop yet. And what is your favorite Michel Gondry music video? Shit, dude. I actually don't know any music videos that Michel Gondry has done. NL, I saw you spitting hot fire at PAX. Great performance of Wild Wild West. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Sparky Boo Man, thank you very much for the subscription as well. Why doesn't NL kill himself on a deal with the devil with Lazarus? This is a very interesting question. Where the freak is my 9 lives here? It's a very interesting question. I prefer to kill myself earlier on that, because... Let me just think about this for a second. I think we might as well do it all the way down, and then pick it up, and it'll give us the 1 HP back and keep us at the HP cap. Kyusis, thank you very much for the subscription as well. I think that it is better to kill yourself as Lazarus earlier, because if you kill yourself on the... If you do it earlier, you have more chance to get back from it, if you know what I mean. Like, you have an extra floor to get Spirit Hearts from Tinted Rocks and from the shop, and you might run into a deal with the devil. Very frequently this happens. Your first deal with the devil is either Krampus, or it's red chests, or it's shitty. And then you're killing yourself later... and missing out on that extra floor of being able to get that survivability. And that early momentum in the game is really important, I feel. Some people may disagree with that, but I think it's better to try to build it earlier as opposed to later. I'm going to get enough money here to try out our shop at least. Do you have any tips as Azazel? If you're having trouble with Azazel, you should probably just practice more. And that's not meant to be an insult, but rather just, you know, the honest to gosh truth. And thank you, by the way, Freeze, for that resubscription. I appreciate it. And now, where do you put sad bombs on your top 10? You know what? I'm not even gonna pick up Placenta. I don't think sad bombs... It would be low top 10s or just outside of the top 10. I really like it, but it's an item that it can't do it for you on its own, but you don't need too much. It's one of my favorite items, but I don't necessarily think it's one of the top 10 best. It could be up there, though. I don't know. I've got to do that actual list, but that... requires doing video editing, which is like my least favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. Why not take Placenta? It's kind of complicated in some ways. I'm already at the HP cap. I could have had more red hearts as opposed to spirit hearts. This early in the game, I don't really think that ratio matters all that much, but mostly I'd usually rather have spirit hearts as opposed to red hearts. Apart from that, I don't like the regen because it makes it impossible to stay at a half-heart interval, which we may need to do if we want to get permanent Polaroid invincibility. And when we're not at any risk of dying, I think it's important to think about our long-term consequences of picking up something like Placenta as opposed to our short-term consequences. That's my, you know, somewhat rudimentary analysis of how I feel about that. Are we on caves? We're on catacombs too. All right, so I would use a key here to fight what I hope is greed. Oh, it's actually a library. So yeah, at this point, we will use this and then take Book of Belial with us. It's too good. And you'd probably be, if not... I know I have the paw. I still don't want the regen, though. I would probably be calling this a one-run if I was not doing it already. Where's Nick, quick with the stick? That's a good question. He wanted to take today off. I think he's going to spend some time with his friends and family, and that's totally A-okay by me. I just let him know that if he ever does it again, he's fucking fired. What are your top 5 items that work alone? Brimstone's got to be number 1, even though it's much better. I don't want to take that. Even though it's much better with damage upgrades and other kind of cool synergies, that's got to be number 1. Mom's Knife has to be up there. Epic Fetus has to be up there. Then it becomes a little trickier, like Godhead, Sacred Heart maybe? Or Death's Touch, but I don't necessarily think any of those are game-winning by themselves. Oh, Stopwatch. Yeah, sorry, Stopwatch is on there. Probably in the number 1 spot as well. I don't know, though. I'd rather have Brimstone no damage than Stopwatch no damage. I think. But maybe it's just because I'm kind of ignorant of Stopwatch because I use it so rarely because it makes the game so boring, in my opinion. Zonk in Disguise. Thank you very much for the subscription. Much appreciated. Alright. And now, why do you call the 4 seconds of Polaroid invincibility permanent? Ah, it's not the individual periods of invincibility that are permanent, but rather the status of having the possibility for the invincibility that is permanent, you know? If that makes sense. It might not be the most optimized way to phrase it, but it is what it is. Alright, I'm happy to have the coat hanger. I would love to pick up Lump of Coal here. Our range is like, it's decent, I think, as a result of our shot speed being higher thanks to Mini Mush. Well, actually, Mini Mush just enhances our shot height, I guess, but Cat of Nine Tails gave us a shot speed upgrade. There's a little bit more floor left to explore. Let's do it. 5 least favorite items? I think you need to segment it. There's like least favorite items because they're bad, and then there's like least favorite items because they're useless. Like Butterbean is terrible. But is it really... Oh, we don't need Book of Belial then if we don't want to, but I'd still like it for the damage. Is Butterbean one of the worst items in the game, or is it just one of the... Or is it, you know... I don't know. It's what I can't even phrase the problem properly. Like, my least favorite items in the game are probably, like, range upgrades, because they're boring. Like, I would rather take something like Cursed Eye or Tiny Planet than, on most runs, than have a range upgrade, just because I find the range upgrade, like, less interesting. I don't know, though. Like, it sounds like I'm being kind of disingenuous there, but it's not intentional. I think Butterbean's probably on there either way, though. I agree, by the way. I think it would be awesome if Krampus showed up less often. NL confirmed for loving Isaac's heart. There was a run recently where I actually got Isaac's heart and IV bag, and then, like, I forget, I think I had a penny synergy with it as well, and it was just like, it was crazy, and I was like, oh, I finally get this item. Dr. Fetus. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Oh, that's got to be a Guppy item. Yeah, so now we're Guppy. This is sorted. I actually think that Dr. Fetus is, like, really bad. And I've seen the positive runs that people have had with Dr. Fetus, but I hate taking it. I hate Loki's horns and Mom's eye. And that puts me in a slight minority, I think, but I've had runs that, like, good runs that those have just completely ruined, so I don't necessarily think I'm baseless in that. Favorite, least favorite characters? Oh, I could rank them. I could rank them pretty easily. I know most people's least favorite is Maggie or Lazarus. I slightly disagree with Maggie. I really disagree with Lazarus. Lazarus has... Oh, I can fly. Right. Well, at least I learned it fairly quick. Lazarus has become one of my favorite characters in the game just because of his novel playstyle. Eve, I still hate, because it's so frustrating to know you have Whore of Babylon, but find yourself on many runs just unable to even do anything with it. I'm trying to think of what else we even have. I like Samson. I think he's probably a little overrated because Bloody Lust is so much better than it was in vanilla. Boss Rush, unlikely to happen, but let's check. Hey, Ghost Baby. I was really hoping that'd be Dry Baby, but still, it's something. World card, and that's something I was not necessarily super thrilled about, but that's okay. What do I need Tinted Rocks for? I guess I would like the small rock, but this run is already so sorted that I'm not gonna, you know, get my titties in a twist about whether or not we're min-maxing appropriately. NL doesn't read chat. I like how you preface your comment with that just to get me to read it, because if there's anything that I'm predictable about, well, there's many things I'm predictable about it, probably, but if there's anything I'm predictable about, it's like, fuck you, I read chat. They said, NL doesn't read chat, do you think the other shirt designs will ever go on sale? It's possible. I just, like, literally 2 days ago, I got Drac, I was talking to Drac, and I was like, you want to work on some shirt designs? It would be cool to do another shirt. And he was like, yeah, no problem. And then he worked up 4 in, like, a day. He's amazing. They may go on sale, he may want to do something else, and, you know, it's determined by, like, let's try it. There's options. Magic fingers, no thank you. The shirt that we're selling right now below the video player is the result of user voting. So we're probably going to stick to that method, but some of those shirts I would have loved to have... This is a terrible shop. Some of those shirts I would have loved to have opted for as well. I want the Elmo one. Maybe one day. But we'll see, basically, is what I'm getting at. For the next 2 weeks, at least, we're selling this shirt. I don't want to sell a shirt, like, every day. Have you ever beaten the game? Still working on it. I'm thinking this might be my best chance in a long while. It's looking pretty good. We're gonna need some more keys pretty soon. Oh, we did we not buy Mom's key, or am I thinking of the run that I did just before I started the stream? The Elmo one is great. I don't disagree. I am thinking that maybe we'll start selling like stickers of the Elmo one or something like that, just because it's so hilarious. I'd call myself like greedy about that, but I'm pretty sure on each sticker sale we'd make like 15 cents. So, you know, we'd only have to sell like 100,000 of them. Put ourselves in a great spot there. Oh, Elmo emote would actually be amazing. Does anyone know, is the Disney Corporation litigious? Also, I don't think Sesame Street is owned by the Disney Corporation, but anyway, you get the idea. Squeezy, that's really good. Take us to the HP cap again. And yeah, okay. Sacrificial dagger, I like it. Mom's knife, I like it. Razor blade, not really a huge fan, honestly, but that's okay. Little risky, but we got 9 lives anyway. PBS? Freaking PBS owns Sesame Street? Why are they asking for our money? I've been watching some NL recently. Well, my condolences. And it seems like the trend goes, calm NL, very excited NL, calm NL. You've got me figured out, man. It's like a Pixie song. It's quiet, loud, quiet. I wish for more keys, please. Knife ruins Guppy. We'll be fine, y'all. Don't worry about it. I didn't pick it up because, like, I wanted it. I picked it up because I had a bunch of HP and it was a question mark, and I thought that would be hilarious. Best synergies for Tammy's head? No doubt, Brimstone, man. There's other ones like Death's Touch, Rubber Cement. Any of those in conjunction with Lump of Coal. Ryan, why is Nick off tonight? He's hanging out with the people that make his life special. Look at this nerd. Spending time with his family. What an asshole. Internet, you're the only family I need. Please give me a hug. Get your t-shirt printed on some dank tank tops. I mean, I suppose we can consider that. I don't wear tank tops because I'm ashamed of my flabby armpits, but there's some people out there that are into them. Why are they called tank tops? Like, I don't get it. You don't wear them in a tank, do you? Is that they were originally for, like, driving a tank in, like, the Second World War or something? I mean, imagine it gets pretty hot in there. I'm just saying I didn't know. Like, I had no idea. I really don't like Mom's eye, by the way, but we got it anyway. It's actually kind of okay with Mom's knife, but we can spin around here and be like a blender. Or a lawnmower, if you will. Loki's horn is more like the lawnmower. Because if you wear it, you're a tank. I like that explanation. What do you mean because they're made from tanks? They're called that because you need to be a tank. Tank crews ripped the sleeves off their uniform, thereby creating tank tops. Is this true, or is this all, like, it all sounds very plausible, but it's like, you know, I read this thing a couple years ago, it was like, and Julius Caesar returned from his crossing of the Rubicon and immediately told his squire to get some cream-based dressing and some anchovies from the local pescatorium. Super mega loser, thank you very much for the subscription, by the way. And thus the Caesar salad was born, and I was like, whoa, that's an interesting story. And it turns out it's a fucking lie. Obviously, I mean, the Caesar salad was probably invented in, like, the 1950s or something like that, but still. Like, that tank story, it sounds just plausible enough to be completely made up. Hey, Rob Bobberts, thank you for the subscription as well. Worn in tanks or swimming pools. So does it mean, like, water tank? Or what? That's a good question. Buy a key, you dingus. That probably would have been a great idea. I've got a cream-based dressing for you right here. To present your cream-based dressing, please. was really hoping maybe we get like Guppy's Head or something. Alright, I mean 48-hour energy's alright. Tears Up's alright. Let's head down to the next floor, I suppose. Man, this is gonna be an easy early run. Caesar salad is called that because a guy named Caesar invented it. Yeah, Julius Caesar, man. You know, I was listening to Lonely Island's The Golden Rule 3-way recently. And during the bridge of the song, they're like, the rule dates back. And then Justin Timberlake goes, the Golden Rule to ancient Greece. Talking about Caesar. And then, by the way, Multimed Yam, thank you for the subscription. Same to you, Jemmy Spoons. I was like, Justin Timberlake and the rest of the Lonely Island crew, Julius Caesar's from ancient Rome. But then I was like, wait a minute, is that part of the joke? Is that part of the further characterization of these characters, that they think that Julius Caesar is from ancient Greece? I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about it, basically. Caesar was his title, you ding-dong. It became his name, just like the Obama of the United States is now named after it. Son of a bitch, he said it incorrectly on purpose. Okay, there you go. I was just asking. I'm not gonna write them like an angry letter or something like that. Bible tract, huh? Why not? What do you mean ancient? Ancient? How do you say it? Ancient? How do you say it? Alright? Everyone makes fun of me for the way I say ancient. I'm waiting. It's gonna take about 30 seconds because of the chat delay, but anyway. Caesar was not his title, it was his name. Alright, there you go. And now, how do you rank tech items? That's an easy one. 0.5 is the best, and 2 is the worst. Tech is in the middle. Say penchant. Alright, penchant. I've got a penchant for this word. Ancient. It doesn't work. Next up on Ancient Aliens. It doesn't work. I'm confused. It's pronounced anal pill. Oh, there you go. You learn something new every day. And chance. Are you ancient? Ain't shit? Look. When I become the leader of the free world, I'm gonna change all the canonical pronunciations into my own pronunciations, and then you're all so fucked. It'll be like international make fun of everyone else's pronunciation day. It's gonna be so good. Yeah, here's something for you. You probably knew this, many of you at least. But did you know that many of the world's titles for state leaders, or, you know, like, not just U.S. states, but like states of the world, are derived from Julius Caesar? We don't know these? For example, Kaiser is derived from Caesar. I believe that Caesar's pronounced with like a hard K in Latin anyway. I'm not gonna take any of these. I can't afford to, unfortunately. And Tsar, you know, the Russian Tsar is derived from Caesar. Interesting, huh? I don't know about Prime Minister. I don't think that one necessarily fits the bill. What's the best Ludovico technique synergy? Maybe like, Shielded Tears? Shielded Tears is really good if you're going for stuff that isn't just like Brimstone. Many equals 2? I mean, it depends, you know. If it's a category that doesn't have a lot of entries, I think, yeah. Many could equal 2. If you said, whoa, there's like, you know, there's many steaks on this plate, and there were 2 steaks, you were only expecting 1, I think that's a absolutely correct way to say it. If you said, you know, there's many people in this room and there were only 2 people, you'd probably be a little confused, I'd say. See, as always, I try to provide one of the top 80 most educational streams on Twitch. So there you go. I have listened to a few hours of hardcore history in my day, so I can roll with the best of them, Mr. Dan Carlin. Tech Point 5 is so good with Ludo? I actually did not know that. Or you can just fucking say there's 2 steaks like a normal person. Wow, you sound like a great person to get dinner with. Hey, there's many steaks on my plate. Hey, fuck you! Why don't you just say there's 2 steaks, you fucking weirdo? And why can't we just sit down and enjoy a nice conversation without all this hostility, you know? NL, who's your main in Smash Bros on Wii U? It's fucking King DDD all the way down. As many Ds as there are, I'm in. Dan Carlin, more like Dank Arlin. I don't know whether to be impressed or ashamed that this is the audience that I've bred for myself, but I appreciate it either way. Let's put it that way. 2 keys. Well, this one I will save for later. Let's go ahead now. This other one probably also save for later. I don't really want to go down to the chest without having more keys. I think I'm going to do a little bit more exploration for once. NL, do you ever take kamikaze in the hopes of getting pyromaniac? Actually, and this is not my way of saying fuck you. I'm not a diplomatic person always. I would just say it. Your question was framed in a very honest way, and I appreciate that. 2 of spades. Now we can go. I think that the Isaac community is guilty of overrating synergies that very rarely happen. For example, I've said many times that I very much am not a huge fan of Isaac's Heart. And then people are always like, Isaac's Heart is great because of the synergy with Blood Rights. And that's true, but how often does that synergy actually happen? Not that often. It's probably, everyone has probably had it happen maybe once or twice over the course of like hundreds of hours. That's not necessarily insignificant, but it's something. Let's oh, I already doubled it. Okay, I shouldn't have doubled it before then, but that's alright. Wow, that's a kind of a shit haul here, but whatever. So that should tell you roughly how I feel about Kamikaze plus Pyromaniac. I've never taken Kamikaze in the hopes of getting Pyromaniac, but if it happened, I could see it happening. The way it would happen is I wouldn't have any other spacebar items, and as a result, I would take Kamikaze in the hopes that it would show up later. Isaac's Heart does work well with a variety of other things, by the way. I wouldn't say I'm revising my opinion on Isaac's Heart, but I'm starting to, like, I'm thinking about revising my opinion, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Shock Noble, thank you very much for the subscription, by the way. See if we can land a good Bob's Brain shot. I would classify that as a decent Bob's Brain shot, but it's better than nothing. Take the Bean of Justice. That's intellectually dishonest, man. To phrase anything as the blank of justice automatically makes it seem substantially better than it actually is. And now, what is your opinion on Wario as a character and his involvement in the Smash games? So I was there in 1976. No, I was there, not to just be all LCD sound system, when Wario was introduced, you know? Way back on the Virtual Boy, my parents were going to get me one, but then the guy at the store was like, you know, a lot of people are saying that if you give your young children a Virtual Boy, they'll get like fucking retinal cancer or something like that, or they're not going to see straight when they get older. So they ended up not getting me one, which in hindsight was probably a great decision. Because that console really sucked. Or that, was it a handheld? Was it a console? It doesn't matter. Anyway, we don't need to circle jerk over the Virtual Boy. It's been quite some time. And then I owned not Virtual Boy. I owned Virtual Bart, though. But I owned the Wario Land games on the original Game Boy, and they were fucking sweet. He's putting on these sweet-ass, like, Viking helmets and crashing through doors and shit. It was awesome. Later, he shows up in WarioWare, and I was like, WarioWare strikes me as, like, Nintendo's like, well, we have this character, we don't know what to do with it. And they made WarioWare, this minigame collection, and it was fucking awesome. Like, Wario was just doing random shit, and, like, you know, you got a Disco Stew type character, you got, like, a taxi driver in there. It was great stuff. But then, like, I played Brawl, and I was like, oh, cool, Wario's in here, and he's, like, eating motorcycles and shit, and then farting all over everybody, and I was like, you know what, you're taking away this character's dignity a little bit. But I support it, and I'm hopeful that I'll get a Wario amiibo. You know, all of these, the characters that I relate to most in Nintendo properties are apparently just overweight and gassy. They spawn shit that is heinous to other people. The Ashley of Justice? Oh, it's the best song on the soundtrack, you know. Even before the internet had like a circle jerk about it, when me and my housemates would play Brawl, we'd be like, that Ashley song is some dope shit. Who's that creepy girl living in the haunted mansion? Better learn my name, cause it's Ashley. And now, this is a great question. What is the biggest dog you've ever seen that you would not classify as a big dog? Holy fuck. I don't know, like an 8-month-old German Shepherd or something? Wario should be more respected. He has to do like some... He has to do like an Oscar film like Daniel Day-Lewis style. Okay, everyone loves Captain Falcon. I'm not going to say Captain Falcon's not awesome. Did I say Falcon weird? I bet I do. I'm starting to notice the pattern of what I say that is weird and what isn't weird. It should be Falcon, right? But I say Falcon. What's the biggest dog you've ever seen that wasn't on display? Also, that's a great callback. I wish I had some keys, I'll tell you that much. I have a 20-pound Chihuahua. Does that count as a big, small dog? Yeah, I mean, probably. I think that's a fair assessment to make. This run was too easy, man. We got 15 minutes left. I kind of want to throw like another Azazel or something. So let's do it. I'm pretty sure we can do it quickly enough. That was a fun run. I mean, even if we had died on that fight, which I was actually probably like over 50% confident we would, I don't think there was any issue that we wouldn't win on like one of our future lives. Just a little bit too strong there. Our cats are big, man, so I understand the big, small dog life. You know, cats are usually very small, but Ruka and Tomo are ragdolls, and they're actually quite large by cat standards. Cat Standards is also the magazine that I subscribe to. It's a bi-weekly publication. They call it The Economist of the feline world. Oh, beautiful. I thought Lincoln was spelled Lincoln all through high school. Well, that doesn't really, that was not very smart of me. That doesn't really translate to a vocal joke, but I saw it in text. Basically, you didn't think there was a silent L. I still think Matthew McConaughey should have played Abe Lincoln. Alright, General Lee. Cooler, baby. I'm very careful here. Tiny Planet Butt Bomb Synergies. I don't think those exist. Have you heard of the 70... Okay, how is this parsed? Is it, have you heard of the 72-pound wiener dog? Or is it, have you heard of the 72-pound wiener dog? You know, like there's a big difference. If you have a 72-pound wiener dog, then that's a large dog. If you have a 72-pound wiener, that is a large wiener dog, you know? Who do I think should have played the Mr. Grey in the 50 Shades of Grey movie? I think Lawrence Fishburne should play every character in every movie. That's pretty much just my hypothesis in general. Wow, this is a call the presses and then stop them. We're fighting two bosses on the cellar, and neither of them are the haunts. That's not supposed to happen. Of course, Danny DeVito would have been a nice second choice if Mr. Fishburne were unavailable. Okay. Okay. How about this one? It's still pretty good. Was it the Fool card? I'll take the Fool card just because I'd like to do Boss Rush. It's an Azazel run that I'm doing to kill time here. I think I have the excuse. Hey, Northernlion, what are your views on child slavery? I'm against it. I don't want to get too political, but child slavery is just one of those things that I feel should not be allowed. Just my thoughts. I know it's a controversial opinion. I feel the same way about Denzel Washington. The same way about Denzel Washington as you feel about child slavery? It's a little messed up. The same way about Denzel Washington that you feel about Lawrence Fishburne, I'm sure. I don't know why that came out kind of menacing. Dude, I like Denzel Washington as well. I loved Flight, man. I thought Flight was a great movie. I watched it right before a flight as kind of like a way of getting over my fear of flying. And to be honest with you, it seems fucked up, but I think it kind of worked. I was like, there's this drunk asshole flying the plane. He flipped it upside down, and still only like 10% of the people on board died. What are my chances of even being in that situation to begin with? Probably like 1 in 10. So I got really good odds. There's a joke in there, by the way. See if you can spot it. Is this, it is Catacombs XL. I placed a bomb trying to hit the tab key. That's why I'm an 8 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. What's your favorite length of shoelace? Who doesn't like medium length? You know, I don't like long shoelaces. You don't want to be tripping over your bunny ears. If you have long shoelaces and you tie your shoes, no matter how you tie your shoes, it makes you look like you don't know how to tie your shoes. Short shoelaces, you gotta have like robotic surgical arms in order to actually operate them appropriately, you know? It's bullshit. I'll go back for that extra item room, I will. It's up here, we saw it as a result of Liberty Caps, so I can get to it reasonably quickly. And we're still going pretty quickly on this run in general. I'm just saying, yo. Medium shoe, it's like asking, you know, what's your favorite kind of sunship? There's a default answer, Harvest Cheddar. Now that Nick's not here, we can all agree, right? Like when he's is he just being a shit disturber? When he goes like, it's French onion? French onion is not the default flavor of sun chips. Harvest Cheddar is the default flavor of sun chips. Pisses me off so much when he's trying to talk about green bag. Oh, the green bag of sun chips. He doesn't even know the name of the flavor. Okay, at least the people with French onion, I could believe that they're not just trolling me. When you say garden salsa, come on. You think anybody's gonna believe the shit that comes out of your mouth? I mean, I don't even know how this helps us. I guess it's just the damage increase, but I'll take it anyway. It's pretty good. There are no original sun chips. If you eat sun chips without flavored powder on them, you're basically just eating like 15 slices of bread. You gotta have some kind of powder on them. And now, what flavor would you make if Lay's asked you to make a flavor? Potato chip flavors? Look, I'm all for scientific progress. That was sweet. But I think we might have hit our wall. Oh, come on, please work. Dang it. I think we might have pissed ourselves. No, I think we might have hit the wall when it comes to potato chip innovation. Like, there's kettle-cooked chips that have reached popularity in recent years. Those are awesome. I love myself a nice kettle-cooked or a Miss Vicky's or something like that. Don't get me wrong. But every time Lay's does that, like, we're introducing some new flavors shit, I've had like 4 or 5 of them. So many of them just end up, it's just like, this is a very, very slightly different flavor of salts. 50 Shades of Salt, that's my book right there. But, like Nick and I had the bacon poutine one that was introduced to Canada. It tastes just like a smoky bacon chip with a new bag. Jalapeno, okay, jalapeno, is that the most recent amazing innovation in the potato chip world? I'll admit, the jalapeno potato chip is, it's lovely. Best Doritos flavors? Sweet chili is #1. I know it's, look, nacho cheese is the Harvest Cheddar of the Dorito world, but the analogy doesn't hold in this case. Sweet chili is a new-ish flavor, and it's amazing. It's top tier. After that, I'd probably put Cool Ranch, dog. Then I think you got nacho cheese. Then I think you go, like, zesty. Who's getting the zesty? It's just like a slightly inferior version of the nacho cheese, in my opinion, which is correct. Probably should have saved that for the damage bonus, but whatever. Hoping for, like, a Hierophant card. Moon's okay, but... the Moon is better than the Fool for our teleportation purposes. Sweet chili heat is incredible, yes. Cool Ranch is for commies? What the heck? So I'm gonna be real with you here. I see some people saying sour cream and onion is the best potato chip flavor, and I thought I got hit by that. Too many people have told me that for me to say you're high as hell. Unlike the Sun Chips Garden Salsa bullshit. Maybe it's a Canadian-American, like, taste difference thing. I do not like sour cream and onion potato chips. They make my stomach, no matter what brand it is, they make my stomach feel weird. I know that seems super strange. Look, I'll be the first person to tell you, that sounds like some pussy bullshit. However, when I eat it, I can't lie. I'm like, my stomach feels a little weird. I'm more of a, I'm down with that tang, you know? I like myself a, but I also, I'm more of like a super salty, sour type of guy. Like dill pickled chips, sour cream and onion. Absolutely. I like barbecue as well. Barbecue is like, there are regular flavor potato chips, but barbecue is kind of like the regular flavor, right? We're all on the same page here. Okay. I don't know, I'm kind of like really liking the nail. Don't really want to take any of those pills unless I know what they are. If we use Pandora's box here, we just get a bunch of spirit arts, which I think is... Oh, never mind, we get a lot of money, which we should... could have saved it, but I think the nail's better for us anyway. Let's see what we got in here. I hate barbecue? Okay, what's wrong with you? Probably roll Capricorn here. Salt and vinegar chips are garbage. Like, honestly, what the fuck are you talking about? Barbecue is literally the worst. You're so high in your own butt that you can't even smell the fumes. Barbecue is awesome. So you guys don't have hickory sticks in the United States, right? What's up with that? You should get some hickory sticks. They're not like Andy Cap's hot fries. We don't have Andy Cap's hot fries in Canada, and I'm very jealous about it because I love you guys too much not to take it. And that pisses me off because Andy Cap's hot fries are delicious. We also don't have the Cheetos, the super spicy Cheetos. I forget what they're called, but we don't have those. I wish we did, but we don't. Hickory sticks are delicious though, because my main thing when I buy potato chips or any kind of salty snack is mostly I just hate myself and I want a lot of it, right? Hickory sticks give you the ultimate illusion because you get a lot of them, but it's pretty much like the same size as regular potato chips, but instead of there being like 80 in a bag, there's like 500. Flamin' hot, yeah, that's what I was going for. Don't tell me spicy Cheetos suck balls. Last time I was in the US, I was by myself, so I didn't have to answer to anybody. So I went to the gas station and I bought some Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And the thing I love about Flamin' Hot Cheetos is that at least the bag that I had, it was like the size of a single serving bag, but on the back of it, it was like serving size. Like there's 2 servings in this bag, and I was like, come on, Frito-Lay Corporation. Anybody buying a bag, a single size bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos is not going to split that up into 2 servings or share it with somebody. I don't disagree, by the way. I think Hickory Sticks bags might actually be like 80% bigger by mass than your average potato chip bag. It's because there's like so few air pockets, man. Have you ever had whiskey haggis chips? This may surprise you, but I have not. NL, rank the B vitamins. Oh, dude. You gotta take thiamine and niacin, 1 and 2. You can alternate, like, which position they're in, but there's absolutely no way that you can not put those in the top 2 spots. Then I think you can make a case for maybe like a B6 or something like that. Then you get into like your B1s, B2s, B3s, and after that it's like, who even cares at that point? You are correct. Boston both is and is not in Canada. Boston should be part of Canada, man. No one country should have, like, both Texas and Boston that exist on different parts of the spectrum. See, in Canada, we have 2 different ends of the spectrum, but the 2 different ends of the spectrum are, like, pleasantly cold, pleasantly cool, that would be, like, BC and Vancouver, to the frigid Arctic. The US has too much, man. They've got the frigid Arctic, they got, like, the desert, they got the Northeast, they got swamps, like... You guys are holding too much land, okay? Share the wealth a little bit. but I don't want Florida. We'll take Boston, we'll take Seattle. That's it. We'll give you, you can have Labrador. No offense if you live in Labrador. I hear it's beautiful. Also, a lot of people don't know this, and this is not like a, you know, Vikings are Canadian type of thing. But it is presupposed that just by saying that word, you can tell that what's about to come out of my mouth is like 30% bullshit. But it is supposed, or at least it's thought, that the Vikings originally landed in North America like 300 years before fucking Christopher Columbus, dog. And they landed in Labrador, or Newfoundland, I can't remember. But they're the same administration, basically. And they set up a settlement which we now call Vinland. For real. That sounds like I'm completely bullshitting you. And it's not necessarily like I think 100% confirmed, and I guess that, you know, with reasonable expectations probably never will be. However, you know, it's people always think Christopher Columbus, first explorer in North America, but no, he's the first explorer to colonize successfully North America, not the first to be in North America. How interesting, They landed in the 700s. Sorry, my mistake. They landed on Newfoundland. There's a settlement you can visit. All right, maybe it is confirmed. That's true. Everyone knows that. Yo, straight up, there must have been some historical innovations in like the past 10 years. Because when I was in like 6th grade, we were learning Canadian history. Nobody said, by the way, the fucking Vikings landed here in our country, like where you're sitting right now. Nobody told me that. We learned all about Christopher Columbus. And now, what's your impressions of Michigan? I've never been to Michigan. It's close to Canada. Everything I know 2 things about Michigan. I know that Detroit has fallen on rough times, but I also know that Dan Giesling lives in Michigan, and every time I try to give him shit for living in Michigan, which is an ignorant thing for me to do, admittedly, he's always like, Michigan's pretty good, dog, check out this, and he links me to some sweet shit about Michigan, and I'm like, you know what, there you go. That's what I get for being a dick. And now, what do you think about Argentina? Argentina's pretty dope, man, because you have, like, Terra del Fuego down there. What's up with that? Argentina, when I think of Argentina, I'm like South America. Tropical. And then, by the way, it's fucking right next to Antarctica. What's up with that shit, man? That's crazy. Don't tell me he lives in Ann Arbor. I'm not going to say where Dan lives. I don't think it's Ann Arbor. And because I said I don't think, you can probably divine that I have no idea where he lives. He's in one of those, you know, Lansing, Dearborn, Ann Arbor, you know, one of those Michigan cities. Have you ever been to Montana? No, but Montana looks beautiful, man. Whenever I end up in Montana in GeoGuessr, I'm like, that's fucking sweet. Man vs. Game, I think, lives in Montana. He always complains about how bad the internet is, though. And I gotta admit, you know, nice scenery is one thing, but it's really important to me that the internet in a place is good. What about Arizona? I went to Nevada once, bet you can never guess where. And that was, you know, I couldn't live there. It's too hot, man. More power to you if you can survive it, but for real. Oh, I should just stand up close, because I have Isaac's heart. I forgot about that little bucket of syrup. Please die, like right now. Thank you. All right, that was looked a little dangerous there temporarily. We'll be fine, though. And now, what do you think about Washington State? Fuck yeah, man. I love Washington State. If I had to live anywhere in the United States, could happen, who knows, Washington State would probably be my first choice. Like, that area around Seattle is awesome. Admittedly, the reason I'm saying that it would be my first choice is straight up because it's so much like... Oh, I should probably use the strength card here just to be safe. It's straight up so much like Vancouver, right? Like, it's the same kind of weather, similar kind of vibe for sure. But I would be totally down. I think I would be most happy outside of Canada in Washington State. Maybe. But I haven't been to every American state, or certainly every American city within every American state, you know? There are other parts of the country I might be able to fare just fine in. I'm in Vegas, NL's just a big bitch. It's really hot, man. It was like 110 degrees Fahrenheit the week that we were there. And I was like, this is quite warm. It might not be like, you know, Qatar, but it's pretty down there. Hello. There's water in that cup? I just felt like a little breeze splash behind me. Thanks a lot, Tomo. You spilled water all over the freaking ground. I really like this like Celtic knot that we got going on here. When we get it.
Yo, Mr. Water, man.
What am I supposed to do? You come home and I've got to be on cat water patrol.
Oh my god, there's a whole water on the floor.
Not one whole water. Yo, why was there water in that cup to begin with, Kate? We got a real problem with not finishing our water around here. That stuff costs money.
No.
Like a very small degree of money, but fractions of a penny that doesn't even exist as a denomination in our country anymore. But still, it's the principle of the thing.
Why you talk about shit when there's water in the ground?
I've got an entertainment product to provide for the
Entertain the water.
entertain them while cleaning water. Don't give me any thoughts about how to. Oh, I'm so fucked. I'm straight up dead. How am I gonna? Yep, there we go. The knockback on the shop pushed me back. There we go. NL, I live in Terra del Fuego, bitch. That is a great way to phrase that. Well, in any case, I'm going to run a quick ad break, and then when I come back, we'll be playing some GeoGuessr. I guess I'll clean up this water in the meantime, but for now, don't go anywhere, and oh, I shouldn't have taken Isaac's heart. Anyway, I'll see you next time. And by next time, I mean like in 3 minutes.
What makes Dodge Journey Canada's favorite crossover? There's a country full of reasons. Start with 7-passenger seating and in-floor storage. Add in all-wheel drive that only engages when you need it to maximize fuel efficiency. And awards 10 Best Engines winner 3 years in a row. Starting at only $19,495, Dodge Journey is winning the country over coast to coast. What makes Dodge Journey Canada's favorite crossover? There's a country full of reasons. Start with 7-passenger seating and in-floor storage. Add in all-wheel drive that only engages when you need it to maximize fuel efficiency. And awards 10 Best Engines winner 3 years in a row. Starting at only $19,495, Dodge Journey is winning the country over coast to coast.
Oh, yeah.
What makes Dodge Journey Canada's favorite crossover? There's a country full of reasons. Start with 7-passenger seating and in-floor storage. Add in all-wheel drive that only engages when you need it to maximize fuel efficiency. And awards 10 Best Engines.
What's up, guys? Did you like that ad for the Dodge truck? I'm sorry about that. Apparently Twitch has some unmutable ads. Or, on the other hand, if you have the stream muted, ads probably just should not play. I mean, they should play, but not with audio. But I guess if you're an advertiser, you're like, fuck that, I'm not paying for ads that could be muted. I don't know, man. Allow me to tweet that I'm doing this, because some people only watch my shit for GeoGuessr. Believe it or not. GeoGuessr, hype. You just put hype on the end of it. That's basically the shortcut for telling people to come. Try it in the bedroom sometime, fellas. By the way, in case you did not notice, we are selling a t-shirt right now. I'm going to go to teespring.com/Northernlion March. It's hard to believe, but it's been 3 months since we started selling, or since we sold our last shirt. This one designed by Dracula Fetus and picked by you, the people. This is the Pocket Egg t-shirt. It's going on for 2 weeks. It says, careful it doesn't get cracked. This shirt allows you to take me with you everywhere you go, and unlike the last one, doesn't contain any questionable language you'd have to explain to your relatives. Just the only explanation necessary is why you have a cartoon bald man inside of a fictional pocket on your t-shirt. As always, thanks to everyone who supported the past campaigns, and I do mean that sincerely, and I hope you've been happy with your shirts. Art is, of course, by Dracula Fetus. It's $21.69 because of, you know, social psychology. You got like 2 weeks to buy it if you're interested. Don't feel pressured. I'm not going to treat you differently if you buy it versus don't buy it, unless I see you in person, in which case I'll probably buy you a beer. Can you afford not to get it in that case? But for now, thanks to everyone who supported it, and we're going to play some GeoGuessr. That's enough shameless self-promotion temporarily. They don't offer real pockets, okay? They don't offer real pockets. There you go. You got some time, but not too much time. Also, if you're one of the first 10 callers, you get a free egg scrambler with every purchase. Alright, let's play some GeoGuessr. I already started up one here. So we're going to do add. We're going to back this way. Back this way! And then we're going to go screen region. And then we're going to click and drag. Dr. Click and drag this one over here. And there we go. And there's going to be some weird black bars just because of the way that it handles resolution, but that's okay. All right. So this is where they've put me right off the start here. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking United States of America. What makes me think that? Wide open spaces. Room to make some big mistakes. Oh, if you're looking for the link to buy the shirt, by the way, you can just scroll right down past the video player and there'll be a module that'll take you to it. Just click on the shirt itself. Also, of course, you know in the United States they have the ring moon. Most people that live outside the United States don't know that, but they have a ring moon that shows up like once every 6 months. There it is right there. In addition to the other moon. Cars look American. Chevrolet truck, like a GMC Suburban or something, and then a mid-tier, you know, coupe. Let's see where we are sign-wise. Delane? Bush Lane? Dunblane. Dunblane. I really wish that said, like, Dallas. If that had said Dallas, I would have a great idea as to where we are. But for now, I don't know. Hey, don't give me shit about not knowing what the Midwest is called. I'm just trying to see if these are miles or kilometers. I think it's miles. Did you know that the Midwest used to be known as the North Central part, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, and then they changed it? North Central makes way more sense than Midwest. Midwest is not a description of where something is. What does it mean it's in the middle of the West? You know what's in the middle of the West? James West Desperado. That's what I'm telling you. We don't have blue signs like that in Estados Unidos. Oh, Unidos, sorry. Look, this, I mean, it could be Canada. This, like, the United States and Canada road signs look pretty similar. But I'm going to need to see, like, a kilometers per hour in order to confirm that. Church traffic circulation service. Look, I'm starting to think that this might not be Canada. I don't think the Middle East makes sense either. I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. I know there was, like, an interstate sign back there, but I don't know the road signs that well. Springfield Road, West Points, and that's, like, Glenwald or something like that. I'm assuming that's not West Point, the university. I don't even know where that is. It's somewhere in Texas or Virginia. Speed limit equals US, maximum equals Canada? Is that true? If that's true, that's pretty noteworthy. Well, it says maximum 80. So you know what? There is no way that this 2-lane road that runs in 2 different directions is going to be 80 goddamn miles an hour. 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers. So that would seriously be like 160 or 140 kilometers per hour. That's faster than the highways. So this must be in Canada. So thank you for your help with that. I appreciate that. And this, I'm still thinking this is North America. There's so many, well, it's Canada, I think. There's so many places in Canada that this could be. But I'm thinking it might be like rural Ontario or like rural BC. Or the prairies. And actually, now that I look at it, I think that license plate, I can't see. Dogwood? Emerwood? What? Glenwood. Glenwood. I'm trying to look at the license plate because the BC license plate is like blue and it has the sun on it, and then the Ontario license plate is very boring. It's just white. Zoom out a little bit. It could be Nova Scotia, I'll admit, but Nova Scotia is so small. Not to be like derogatory, but it's pretty small. I'm not saying they don't have farmland, but rather that it's kind of I'd expect the farms to maybe be like a little closer together, but I get the Scottish influence. West Point. I don't know. I think I'm gonna take. I'm gonna say that we're pretty much like we're not gonna see anything else that's gonna really illuminate too much for us. They play basketball here. Canada sucks at basketball, but every like 8th house will have a basketball net. That's just the goddamn truth. It's beautiful, I got to admit. It doesn't look like BC. Now that I look at, I mean, it kind of does, but I don't really see like any mountainous areas. It's pretty flat. Not to say that there aren't flat parts of BC, but you know, you got to make an educated guess at some point. Okay, now I see a lighthouse, and this says west. I think Nova Scotia is probably a pretty good guess. But to get even crazier, I'm going to put us like on like PEI.
Yeah.
Hey, Zarulad, thank you very much for the subscription. Well, I see that road is 14 actually, so we might be able to even, I think we might be like right here in PEI. All right, that's a pretty good guess. 20 kilometers away in the world's 2nd largest country. I'll take it. It's the lighthouse, man. I'm telling you. This one, looking a little trickier. It doesn't say West Quest. It says West Ouest, which is French for west. I'm amazed that people think that that's impressive. I thought people would be like, wow, 20 kilometers away, way to go. But, no, thank you. I appreciate your support. I don't think this is Asia. I'm thinking it's, could be Australia, could be Europe. Is this what Australia, this could be America as well, but it could be Canada. But it's, you know, we're going to need to see some signs. All right, so it's 20 kilometers away. There are some trees that could blow over on top of you, so be careful. They're driving a Mercedes. It doesn't necessarily tell me all that much. Everywhere they're driving Mercedes, Toyota. That doesn't help me. 200 meters ahead. So I'm thinking this is probably like Norway, Sweden, or Finland. Very commonly, you will find those countries looking like this in GeoGuessr. I would very much like to see some signs that were in a language, though, instead of just like numeric. I could see this being Australia, but we're... No, wait. We're driving on the right side of the road. So not Australia. Is that like a Saab or something? That looks pretty, like, Swedish to me. Usually this ends up being somewhere in, like, it ends up being a Nordic country. I apologize. I've used Scandinavian in the past. Someone linked me to an infographic that was like, this is Nordic, this is Baltic, this is Scandinavian. But I oftentimes get them confused with Russia in GeoGuessr, and actually that sign is very helpful. Now I think we're in Russia. We're in Bopk. Spent many a summer there. It's quite lovely. This doesn't mean we're in Russia, but I think it does. I think we're in or close to Russia. Which I guess the Nordic countries are pretty close to it to begin with. Geographically speaking. There's a hospital 20 kilometers away, so just be aware of that. Well, I'm never going to figure out where we are in the country. That could be a lake or, I don't know, like the North Sea or something. So we're looking for, like, Bopk. I'm assuming that we're in western Russia, because it looks very... not that other parts of Russia are, but it looks pretty fertile and quite, you know, nice, if not a bit rainy. Why don't we just try here? It starts with the same character. Maybe it's close. That's not very good. No, oh my god, we were in fucking Irkutsk. That's a large distance away. I am never going to pore over the entirety of Russia to get that shit figured out, but still, good god. That was a tough one. Okay. This one, looking a little bit more desert-like, tropical maybe. What is in that truck? It's a bunch of propane tanks. I thought trucks like that only existed in video games. 60. Fiscalizaco Electronica. So immediately I see Spanish or Portuguese and I know I'm fucked. So I'm assuming that we're in Brazil. Not because I have a great knowledge of Brazil, but because it often is Brazil in the game. And because it says Brazil on the sign. So that's pretty helpful. Programa Cisternas de Placas. That dude's, I don't know what he's doing, but he's loving it either way. Alright, so this is Portuguese then. Now all we have to do is figure out where we are in, like, the 5th largest country in the world. And I don't speak the language. So I just want to point out, we've had Canada, we've had Russia, and we've had Brazil. Why can't we get, like, Denmark or Iceland or something so that even if we're wrong, as long as we have the country right, we're pretty close? But my problem is that even, like, I know some Brazilian cities, but I don't know where they are, and I don't know the environmental characteristics of any of them. I'm assuming... I mean, this place actually looks really nice. And I mean that sincerely. Like, not every place we get placed in Brazil looks wonderful by my particular standards. However, this place has got kind of like a Mediterranean feel to it. There's a hospital. Milagres, like Brejo Santo. There's the movie store. Looks like it's doing about as well as Blockbuster. Okay, so let's think environmentally speaking here. It's kind of looking like a little desert-like. Not completely desert, but it's pretty arid to some extent. So I'm thinking we're probably not that close to the sea. Just my thinking. I gotta draw a line somewhere. I'm thinking that means we're probably in the south, like southwest somewhere. And it doesn't look like it's a big city. So, I mean, Barrow might actually be like a straight up real city, but I have no idea where it is. But I'm going to say maybe it's... there's too many lakes there. I'm going to say it's like down here near, let's say near Caceres. I just looked at chat and chat said it was northeast, but I got to stick to my guns. I'm sorry. You were right. There it is right there. Is there a Barrow? You know, hopefully every time I get those wrong, I learn a little something, but I can't say, I can't confirm or deny it. All right. Well, so far so good. This looks easy. The person who rode this bicycle was never seen again. They've been swallowed by the bog somewhere. The south of Brazil is hillier. Okay. I need them to put me like at a sign that says Brasilia, and then or like Rio de Janeiro this way, and I'll be like, oh, I'm a genius. We're in Rio de Janeiro. I really thought that was fucking Ohio. That's pretty good. All right. This sign scares the shit out of me. Are there like literal flames on it? Confianza ganada atoniados. I have no fucking idea. It's the Black Cool region? That doesn't look right. Pozo Altamira. These signs, man. Just move like forward slightly. I need to be able to read the sign. There you okay, good. Jesus. I have pretty much no idea. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on over there. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot going on over here. I'm gonna go this way. Yo, what the heck? We're falling. We're tilted. I thought that said pizza. Oh, it's Forza. Okay. Doesn't that mean like fast? Something like that? How would we driving fast away from here? So that's Spanish, so we're probably a Spanish-speaking country in South America, or Spain, or Mexico, or maybe places in Central America. This does not help me at all. I for real did think that sign said pizza. I was like, this place used to be like a city before the calamity came and just completely destroyed all of the available arable land for pizza growing instruments. Was that car? I want to go back for a second, actually. Please don't tip us over here. Was that car like a Chevy? Because if it was, that would have me leaning towards Mexico. Yeah, I don't think that a lot of like Chevrolet trucks are imported into Europe and South America. I know that it's a worldwide brand. You know, when I lived in Korea, they were trying to like branch out there. But I would expect that there's a little bit more transit of that stuff across the actual land border between the U.S. and Mexico. In Europe, they seem to tend to drive like, you know, Japanese vehicles for these purposes, or they drive like the Mercedes trucks and vans, and then. Yeah, like a Chevrolet is a bit of a telltale sign, I think. Like a language, like a lot of American vehicles, but Spanish tells me that, my hunch at least, is that we're in Mexico somewhere. They use kilometers. They probably use kilometers in Mexico. So if I'm going to say that we're in Mexico, I'm just going to tell you that we're fucked, because I have no idea. But we can't be that far off. Relatively speaking. Looks pretty fertile. I don't think we could be in like Baja California. Where would it was like oil or something. Where would oil be? Near the water, maybe? In the desert? Pretty much anywhere. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Let's put us just outside Mexico City. It's pretty centralized as far as the whole country goes, so we'll just put ourselves a little bit outside of it, and then we're hedging our bets from a gameplay standpoint. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that within the context of the size of the country. Whew, that was tough. Okay. This is more my style. We're in a city. We can glean a lot of information. At least a town. We're in a town. Let's go see the sign, then we'll head back in the other direction. Okay, so the sign is a person walking. We're driving on the right side of the... It looks like, from this angle, it looks like that person just has like an enormous boner. That's so good! Oh, man. That's great. I'm still wondering what that person does have now that I look at it. I don't know if we're ever going to know. Let's go back, though. Okay, so we're in, I think, Russia. I always hate to say it because it could be Greek. Admittedly, like, all of the languages that are part of that kind of family, they blend together for me because I don't know any of them. But I'm assuming that we're in Russia here somewhere. That's gotta be Russia. Wild berries. You make my heart sing. Now the question is, where would we be within Russia? It's a town. It looks... I hate to say this again, because it stereotypes the country as like one Arctic wasteland. But it looks green, it looks fertile, looks populated. You don't have that many areas in Russia that are super populous. I got myself thinking that maybe we're in one of the biggies. You know, maybe we're in St. Petersburg. Maybe we're in like Sochi or something like that. I don't know. The problem here is that, like, even if I look at, like, if I saw a sign with the city name on it, I might not even know that it's the city name until it's too late. 49 cents for pickles or, like, Polsky Ogorkis there. That's pretty good. Let's take, like, this seemingly somewhat major road through the town here, and we'll, see if we can see a sign of some kind. Not looking too great so far. Dude, this does not look like a massive city. It kind of does within the context of a relatively, like, unpopulated country. Now I'm getting confused. I see that sign over there. I'll go back for it. But we have these mountains over here. So we got some tall mountains. It's got me thinking maybe we're in the north. So now I'm thinking St. Petersburg is maybe not such a terrible guess. I wish this place was called, like, St. Petersburg Oil. Oh, that's not a road sign. When I was back here, like, it was obscured by the tree. Well, we got to move forward, like, a little bit. I thought that was a road sign. People in chat saying those are the Earls. You think so? They could keep us in, like, the southwest, I think. This is the road we were just on, but now we're driving backwards on it. But we're getting back into the city, which I think is a good thing. Alright, okay. North is maybe a bad guess. You can have Snow Peak Mountains anywhere. Well, I mean, you need a couple of criteria, I think. There's a statue. Is that straight up Vladimir Lenin?